You passed right by my house and didn't stop.
I did.
I saw you nerve yesterday.
I saw your dad today.
And I was. Let's call the meeting to order. Monday, August the 20th, 2007 at 7:05 p.m. This evening we'll have the invocation by the Reverend Martha O'Reilly from the First United Methodist Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by the Police Explorers and Councilwoman Bell. Would you all please stand?
Sovereign God, we are well aware that you have created this universe and all that is in it, and we are commanded to live in this world but not be of this world. So while we are meeting this evening and making decisions that are of this world, please let us be aware that we seek your kingdom first, Lord. Please give discernment and wisdom to those who are making decisions about this great community. We ask for your guidance in everything that we do. I also pray this evening about the schools, the school systems, the teachers, parents, and children that are heading back to school, Lord. Please let us always be wise in you. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention. Here we come. Forward march. Left march. Present arms.
Please join me as we salute our nation's flag, the symbol of freedom. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Forward arms. Right face. Forward march.
You may be seated. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Warren?
Here.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Here.
Councilwoman Bell? Present. Councilwoman Garner? Here. Councilman Hodge? Councilman Porter?
Here.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Here.
Additions, deletions, deferrals. We have none. Special presentations. The Biscayne Everglade Greenway Project update. Councilwoman Waldman.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to apologize to all of those who came to our last scheduled presentation, and I saw you stand, most of you, for over 2 hours in the back of the room because the audience was such a large attendance that evening, and at the end of the night we still had to call it off. So I apologize to all of you, and I thank you for coming back. I thank you so much. As all of you know, or many of you know, this is a pet project of mine. Started it in 2001, along with my tourism board, which I'd like to introduce any members of the tourism committee that's here. My chair, my co-chair, Paul Mahorn, is here. Anybody else here tonight in the tourism committee? Yvonne, and who's back here? Michelle? Michelle. Okay, but anyway, for all of you that have been with it from the beginning, I really appreciate it. This is the Biscayne Everglades Greenway. Dan Kimball and Mark Lewis can't be here tonight, but Dan affectionately calls it Judy's dream, and it was a dream in the beginning, but now it's more than that, and it's going to happen. There have been many things happening since our last workshop. Over the past several months, we've conducted another public workshop, applied for federal transportation grants. In September, we should hear from approximately $4 million in grants in September, and that will happen. And in 2008, another, I think it's $2.5 or $3 million that we're waiting for, and these will be ongoing grants. So it'll be a wonderful thing. We've worked with the National Park System, Miami-Dade County Parks and Recs, and Forbes Architects in conducting a design workshop as a part of the Blueprint for America program marking the 150th anniversary of the founding of the American Institute of Architects. The design charrette was held on March 24th, and many individuals that are here tonight were there and participated. The southern route has been added to the Greenway. Now, this was to my surprise because we initially started with our 27-mile project, and I was so happy. I missed a meeting, came back, and now it's 40 miles, or 42, is it, Fred? 42 miles. So that's what happens when you miss a meeting, but it's a good thing because it'll go from the Biscayne National Park all the way down to Flamingo. And for those of you that don't know, we're the only city in the United States with 2 national parks at our front and back door. And that's something that just doesn't happen. So we believe, and that's going to be our new slogan, we believe. We believe that this is going to put Homestead on the map. It doesn't matter where I go in Washington, it doesn't matter where I go, even to a doctor's office. People are talking about this trailway. This is our quality of life. This is a preservation. And if we don't do it now, we're not going to be able to ever do it again. So we have just put one foot in front of us and kept the dream alive, and we believe it will happen. The estimated cost of the project is approximately $69 million. In an effort to identify potential resources to fund the project, a brainstorming meeting is scheduled on September 12th downtown, and I will be there. Kurt Herron has some great ideas. We're going to put it all together, and at this time, I really want to just give everybody an opportunity to speak, and Fred Hurling with the National Park System is going to give us an update on the project. But first I'd like to introduce some people in the audience. Yamel.
Ben Cosme.
Thank you. Ben Cosme. Hi, how are you? Yamel is a staff assistant for Mario Diaz-Ballard's office. Thank you so much for coming along. I know Miguel was here last time and stood again and didn't even get to introduce him. Marie Levant, district coordinator from Katie Sorensen's office. Tonight's Katie's anniversary, so she sends her best wishes, but she just couldn't be here tonight. Chris Himmel, he's with the mayor. He's the mayor's aide from Mayor Carlos Alvarez's office. There's Chris, and he'll probably be speaking a little later on the project. Benny Lovett. Just love it. Just love Benny. He's our commissioner from Florida City. And I have to say that our sister city, Florida City, thank you so much, Commissioner Lovett. You have just stepped up to the plate, and you have participated in this project with us. And it's not only going to benefit the city of Homestead, it will benefit Florida City as well. So thank you so much. I'd also like to introduce to you, excuse me, Carlos Perez with Gladden Jackson. Where's Carlos? Carlos, he's just been remarkable. Couldn't have done it without you and your team. Thank you so much. He did the initial feasibility study for us, so it's been a journey. Now, 2 of my favorite new friends. Tom Burton, chairman of the Bicycling Advocacy Committee and member of the Everglades Bicycle Club. Tom will stand up. Tom will be speaking to us later as well. He knows just how important this project is. And also I'd like to introduce to you Eric Tolberg, member of the Pedestrian Bicycle Committee of Miami-Dade County. And not only are these guys champions and my cheerleaders for this project, they have gone out and taken pictures of everything along the route. And I mean, we have so much more than we have time for tonight, but we'll get that in at another meeting. And any of the Greenway Committee members that are here tonight, I'd like for you to stand. Yvonne, Michelle, everybody stand. Michelle's the Public Information Officer with Biscayne National. And again, I want to thank you all for coming, and let's turn it over to Fred and see what's happening. Thank you, Mayor. I would suggest we need to go down there and reserve seats for the council.
Okay, yeah, sure. Before I get started, I have two handouts for the mayor and the council, the PowerPoint presentation for your records, and also the Greenway map. So if you hand that out, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Well, Mayor Warren, Councilwoman Waldman, and the rest of the City Council for Homestead, we really appreciate the opportunity to come here tonight and give everybody an update on the Greenway. As Ms. Waldman said, on July 16th we were here for about 2 hours waiting, and unfortunately there was TV media here and a number of other folks that support the project here, so hopefully most of them came back tonight. But if not, we will have an update here and lots of information to share in the months and years ahead. As Mr. Waldman mentioned, there was a great team effort, so I feel I speak on behalf of not only Dan Kimball, the superintendent of Everglades National Park, and Mark Lewis, the superintendent of Biscayne National Park, but the 20-some members of the committee that helped establish the Biscayne Everglades Greenway and really has moved this forward over the last several years. And while the goal is to link Biscayne and Everglades National Parks together, the real secret of this is the places in between, the 20-plus miles in between that includes Homestead, Florida City, the Redlands, and all the other areas of South Miami-Dade County that are so important to this region, this economy, and the ecological preservation of the Everglades ecosystem. I want to just take a few minutes tonight giving you an update on the Greenway, a bit of background on the project, since it's been some time since we were here speaking to the City Council and the Mayor, give you a status report on where we are at present, and then if there's any discussion, questions, and answers, we'd be happy to provide those. The mission of the Greenway project, as you can see there, is to link the national parks with Homestead, Florida City, and the tropical Redland, and other communities with a multi-purpose trail system that speaks to the natural, cultural, and historical assets of South Miami-Dade County. This is a unique place. It's the only community that has 2 national parks on its border, but it also has a rich history of Native American history up through the present of how the lands have been utilized and experienced over generations. So this provides a unique transportation alternative for both national and international visitors, and obviously as well as the residents of South Miami-Dade County, to provide unique quality of life experiences for people that live and work here, but also really establish it as a unique destination for the millions of people that visit the national parks each year and the more than 3 million people that travel to the Florida Keys each year. While the Greenway is really focused on South Miami-Dade County, it's really part of a broader concept of really protecting the ecosystem, protecting the quality of our resources, and providing for the quality of communities and jobs and healthier environment. And the Greenway, by promoting non-motorized recreation and educational programs, really seeks to enhance the quality of our unique community while also providing opportunities for families, friends, and visitors from all over the world to enjoy, experience, and spend time here in South Miami-Dade County. Unfortunately, I have to apologize right now. I'm just noticing there's a few maps that when I transferred it to this computer here, it looks like they got turned sideways, which is I guess another way to look at the South Miami-Dade context. So obviously, it was perfect on my computer, and here some of these have been flipped. But anyway, these maps were meant to show just a range of perspectives of the Everglades and the South Dade region. Up in the upper left, a satellite image that shows Biscayne Bay and the Atlantic Ocean to our east, the Everglades to the west. And then a variety of maps that show various ways that the communities and the natural resources on the east and west of Homestead and Florida City interrelate. The bottom right map there, which actually looks like it's in the right orientation, is an early map from the Miami-Dade County Park and Recreation Open Space Planning Program that's underway that looks at the county's role as a way to link larger park and recreation areas, conservation areas, and really making connections to the communities, neighborhoods, and then broader recreational and educational environments of South Dade. So again, I apologize for these maps showing up incorrectly here. Hopefully the rest of the program will go okay. As Judy Waldman mentioned at the beginning, there's a long history here in South Dade, and in particular Homestead. Homestead was identified as the nation's first bikeway in 1961 and the first bicycle city in America, I believe shortly thereafter. Some years later, after Hurricane Andrew, an initiative to establish South Dade Greenway Network began. There's a whole series of trails and linear parks that connect all corners of South Miami-Dade County, and the Biscayne Everglades Greenway has evolved into that east-west connection, and we'll talk about that in a moment here. Obviously, the tourism committee chaired by Ms. Waldman has been instrumental in promoting this idea of a Biscayne Everglades Greenway, but obviously numerous other leaders such as Mayor Warren, the council here, Benny Lovett, it's great to see you in Florida City in the fold, the County Park and Recreation Department, on and on, Commissioners Moss and Sorensen, I can go on and on, state level, national level. There's just a whole host of leaders and people with influence that really can help make this a reality in the near term. Both Everglades and National Parks identified the Greenway as a key component of its general management plan, which is a 30-year plan that looks to the future and identifies ways to integrate protection of the natural resources with quality visitor experiences, both within the parks and also within the communities adjacent to the parks. And really, the last several years, back in 2004 up to the present, has been, I would say, a real emphasis on this project and getting on-the-ground results. And it began with a workshop that we held over on our Chrome Avenue office back in the summer of 2004. Here's a list of the project partners at the government level, local, state, federal levels, numerous private organizations, conservation groups, businesses such as FP&L, the Water Management District. If you look at the list, these are probably 20-some here. There's many others that have participated as well. So it's just a win-win for everybody that's heard about the project and really wants to see it happen. The Greenway goals really connect the parks to the South Dade communities, as I mentioned in our mission statement. It enhances quality of life for residents with safe, close-to-home recreation opportunities. It really begins to look at Homestead, Florida City as a gateway to the national parks and the Keys, and really looks at the economic benefits from ecotourism and agritourism, which is an emerging segment of the tourism community that's really, these are the two fastest growing aspects of tourism nationwide in the U.S. and in Florida, ecotourism and agritourism. And we have in our subtropical climate and environment just some unique ways to celebrate, promote, and have people enjoy these unique opportunities. And eventually, when the Greenway is fully established, such things as bike races, marathons, festivals, again, can enhance the economic impacts of the Greenway on the South Dade business environment. It also, in the second to last bullet, focuses on alternative transit. Before we began this project several years ago, I think gas was still under $2 a gallon. The trend is obvious where it's going. Governor Christ, federal, state, local governments are all recognizing the needs to reduce carbon emissions, find alternative ways. The Greenway through walking, bicycling, and equestrian is a perfect complement to those broad goals of protecting the environment, and enhancing quality of life. And the last bullet, which is somewhat cut off by those chairs, really talks about the Greenway being built from the ground up with broad public involvement, and we've seen that each and every step of the way. Judy Waldman introduced Carlos Perez a little while ago from Gliding Jackson. They were our consultants that really helped us focus in on what this Greenway concept should be. And way back in the winter of 2005 and into 2006, we identified a number of options to pursue, and these are depicted in these various, in this diagram right here. And that was based upon a set of criteria that we identified, everything from the beauty of the area and security and safety, to minimizing the cost of land acquisition, to compatible adjacent land use, obviously an adequate corridor to provide for a range of recreational and educational opportunities, ease of maintenance, on and on. You can see these are the criteria that we laid against these various options for the corridors. We had a series of public meetings in 2006 and 2007, which helped us illustrate that initially, as Ms. Waldman said earlier, the thought was we would have this northern alignment along the canals and levees of the Water Management District through Homestead, across the Redland, and then down the C-111 Canal on the Everglades National Park's eastern boundary. As we went through the public process, many residents that were closer to the southern alignment, which goes through Florida City, State Road 9336, and out Palm Drive, really talked about some of the benefits that would provide for people that live and work on that corridor. So when the Greenway Committee made its final decision after our public involvement process, we believe there was benefits to expanding the 27-mile corridor to about a 42-mile loop. And as you can see, not only is there a northern and southern loop, but there's also some north-south connections around 137th Avenue, Tallahassee Drive, closer to Homestead on, I believe, 152nd, and then obviously, as we all see progress being made each and every day on the busway extension, what a great north-south connection in the heart of Homestead down to Florida City. There's a 10-foot wide dedicated bike path in that segment that goes all the way up to the Metro Rail. So then you have opportunities for people from outside the region to actually connect from up north through the Greenway and connect to our hopefully revitalized downtown areas. Just a multitude of options here. And in fact, before I came over this evening, I got a call from a group in Key Largo that was interested in the connections between this project and a Florida Keys Greenway and Blueway project that connects land and water-based recreation and education as well. So they're going to be connecting up with us as we move south down Card Sound Road and the rebuilding of the 18-mile stretch, so we have connections going to a second county as well. And last, I'll just mention that a couple of weeks ago, the East Coast Greenway Alliance, which is a national organization that is establishing a connection between the state of Maine and Key West, has looked at our Greenway as a possible connection here in South Florida as part of this national system as well. So again, layers and layers of opportunities with this project. And here's just some photographs that show, just a whole range of uses that would be realized through the development of the Greenway. That's the past. Let me bring you current very quickly here with ongoing efforts and next steps. We are finishing up with our Rivers and Trails Conservation Assistance Office a draft plan in 2007. That will really paint the picture of what the map was that you just saw, but really providing descriptions, cost estimates, financial feasibility, and operation and maintenance components that would be needed to make the Greenway a successful operation. We mentioned that in March the American Institute of Architects had a design workshop at Miami-Dade College here at Homestead. About 40-some people participated, professional planners, architects, landscape architects. They've created about an 80-page booklet that's under review right now. It's a draft document, but we'll be sharing that with you as soon as it's finalized, hopefully in the next month or so. Some great concepts and ideas and thinking outside the box that will enhance our ability to hopefully secure funds and implement an innovative project. But their project focused on 5 distinct areas: Greenway connections and crossings, such as that of traversing the US 1 corridor, the east side and west side of the Greenway here in Homestead in Florida City, looking at visitor centers as important places, as one-stop shopping for people to learn about opportunities in the national parks in Homestead, South Florida, and the surrounding communities. They looked at canoe and kayak connections to connect the water and land-based activities of the Greenway. They looked at the redevelopment of the Mallory Drive corridor, which would be the gateway into Homestead, the Homestead portion of the Greenway, east and west of Chrome Avenue, and the revitalized downtown with the new City Hall, Rosner Park expansion, etc. And they looked at the idea of observation towers. You know, one of the great ways to see a flat landscape like we have here is to get up high. So they looked at opportunities along the Greenway, perhaps near the entrances to both national parks, where there might be some observation towers that are sustainably designed, but that'll get people up and above into the tree line so you can actually see the resources and see the places that are so important to all of us. So that effort's going to be finalized and then incorporated into our draft plan. We've been promoting the Greenway at numerous meetings, events, and throughout the media. I know there's been numerous stories locally and regionally in newspapers. Comcast just did a CNN 5-minute update on the Greenway. The National Parks Magazine actually just finished a story. It's going to be out in their next quarterly edition, a feature story on the Greenway, and we'll get copies of that to all of you. Obviously, agencies and organizations I've spoken about. We talked about the funding sources that we're seeking at the state and federal level. We've just also applied for a grant to get a signage program instituted for the key entranceways to the Greenway. Hopefully that can be an early action. Promote the sites, promote the Greenway, and get people using it. I mean, it's not going to be an end product right away, but if we can get people familiar with it, using the Greenway, it's just going to enhance its recognition and its support in the community. We're developing a dedicated project website. Right now, the City of Homestead hosts information about the Greenway, and we want to expand upon that. And then Bruce Epperson, who was sitting here, Bruce Epperson. We're fortunate enough to get a transportation scholar for 6 months. Bruce will be working with me at Everglades National Park, and Bruce is a transportation planning expert, has worked in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. He's a lawyer and a planner, and has a great wealth of experience. So he's helping us move this forward over the next 4 to 5 months. So Bruce, we appreciate your participation here. Wrapping up with ongoing efforts, we hope to have a meeting in September with the South Florida Water Management District to establish the management agreement that would provide for access to their canal levees and begin to get use established on the scenic portions of the Greenway. Miami-Dade County Park and Recreation Department will begin the 4-mile segment that they have funding for to design and build the first full segment of the Greenway, which is 4 miles starting at Convoy Point at Biscayne National Park's entrance, out to 137th Avenue along North Canal Drive. And design and engineering work will begin in 2007 and into 2008, and hopefully construction shortly thereafter. That's over $2 million of funds secured for that 4+ mile segment. I mentioned earlier, October 31, I was told, is things are on schedule for the busway extension to be completed, including the bicycle corridor that parallels the extension. We've had a great partnership in recent months with the historical Redwood Tropical Trail. The businesses such as Robert is here, Stubby Winery, Brian Canessa, Ativa, a whole bunch of other organizations that are part of that tropical trail. Is really look at how they can link with the Greenway and promote common goals that we have with their effort. I talked about the Greenway Master Plan being drafted up this year and the AIA workshop being finalized this year. We hope that in early 2008, in the winter or early spring, having a public unveiling, hopefully with segments of the Water Management District corridor opened with a management agreement, maybe a signage component put in place, and I know Tom Burton, who I guess will speak later on, has talked about, I think, a January 12th, 2008 event to actually have a bicycle trip on the Greenway itself, which will be excellent. And then integration with Homestead redevelopment. The Mallory Drive roadway improvement project that goes 1 mile west from Chrome Avenue to 187th is a key portion of the kind of the urban corridor of the Greenway, and their work and funding is in place for that effort, and we'll be involved with that, working with that team. And then the numerous downtown Homestead revitalization efforts, the Rosner Park expansion, Obviously, a new city hall that'll be built, the Arts and Entertainment District, the Seminole Theater restoration, and perhaps a truck bypass off of Chrome Avenue. These are all things that will enhance the quality of life for residents to utilize downtown Homestead and for tourists from all over the world to do the same. Here we go back to some images that have gotten turned 90 degrees, unfortunately. But if you could, yeah, that's really way off. But the AIA group actually came up with a concept that would actually have two visitor centers. One, a regional visitor center that would be somewhere for the national parks and all the other state, local, and federal agencies that would provide a one-stop shopping somewhere around the juncture of Palm Drive, the end of the Turnpike, and US 1, the Palm Drive intersection there. We've talked about that in our management plan for some time, about providing opportunities for national wildlife refuges, national parks, the National Marine Sanctuary, state parks, on and on, local county government parks, City of Homestead parks, somewhere in that area will be a regional visitor center. But then linking that to a downtown historic visitor center somewhere, perhaps near the new City Hall, that provides information about the Greenway and has food, beverage, bicycle rentals, bicycle repair, and other components we've talked about over the years. So that's one feature that the AIA group looked at. They also looked at this Blu-ray connection to canoe and kayak system in the canals and after Biscayne Bay. And those images really are quite confusing. Two of them are sideways, two of them are oriented the right way, but the notion is really to connect paddling opportunities, which is a growing portion of ecotourism, to land-based recreational opportunities as well. Let's see what we have here. Okay, three more sideways. Okay. Observation towers I talked about. Those are some concepts that AIA came up with. And then looking at this important notion of urban crossings and connections along key strategic portions of the Greenway, such as the US 1 corridor, going underneath the Turnpike, and linkages in the urban areas of Homestead and Florida City. That's a nutshell of what we've been doing, what lies ahead. Obviously, there's tremendous opportunities. There's a ton of work to do. We have some things in the pipeline, but much more is needed to be accomplished. But we have a great set of partners. Nobody thinks this is a bad idea, and we are excited about working hard on this near-term and long-term to make this a reality. At this point, I will just end here, and if there's any questions, answers to have, or discussion, I'd be happy to entertain it, or anybody else from the committee that wanted to pipe in. I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Fred, Sibby, thank you. I just wanted to say that for those of you that don't know, we are ranked, our project is ranked one of 3 in priority for the state of Florida and one of 18 in priority for the southeastern United States from the Department of Interior. When I was in Washington this past spring, felt like winter, but it was spring, we chased down everybody that was there, and we had full congressional support. All the Florida delegations signed off on it. The county commissioners are in full support of us. Florida City, our surrounding communities. I just couldn't be happier with everything that's going on. I'd like to ask if anyone would like to come forward, especially from the committees. Yes, go right ahead, Eric.
Eric Tolberg, 7884 Southwest 179 Terrace, Palmetto Bay. I'm a member of the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee for Miami-Dade County. I'm also a retired engineer. One of the things I would urge on this consideration of this Greenway is do the simple things first. Please, there are some cases where you can just put a bicycle gate, a 36-inch wide opening in the South Florida Water Management District canals, and large sections of the Greenway can be used by both the equestrian use for walkers and for off-road bicyclists. And the cost would be very minimal. All the signing and constructing new gates would cost less than $1 million for the entire trail. So there's large parts of it that can be done very cheaply. I even costed out parts of the southern route, which could be done for only $5 million, because there's large sections that are already being built and some that are already in existence. So please keep it simple, and this trail will connect all the paths that go through southern Dade County. The new busway that will have a path next to it is going to be connected, and you'll be able to go from the junction of Chrome Avenue and US 1 by Cartsound Road. You'll be able to ride your bicycle from there all the way up to the Miami River within a few years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eric. You know, I just noticed in the audience Ruth Campbell, former councilwoman for the city of Homestead. And Ruth, would you like to talk about the Bicycle Museum? She has great news. She shared with us once before, but I'd like to recognize her and have her talk about it just a little bit.
We've been talking about a bicycle museum even before we started talking about the trails. But we do have money to put in it and are ready to go and be part of this when the time comes.
And isn't
but a museum in connection with the Homestead base, I think, is where we might want to have it.
Yes.
And our bicycle repair shop and everything else along there.
Yes.
And it's a great project.
And don't you have about $300,000 dedicated for that, Ruth?
Yes, we do. Yes.
So that's wonderful news, and I'm very thankful. And Ruth knows, as well as many other historians here in Homestead, that in was it 1960, the city of Homestead was known as the bicycle capital of the world.
Yes, we had signs everywhere. The reason we even had them redone, but then Dade County says you can't do that because it's not a dedicated bicycle path next to a street. So anyway, now we're doing this.
Yes.
Now we're doing the big one.
Yes, and I'd like to see that done right by the busway and downtown area so that we can revitalize.
Yes.
Thank you, Ruth, so much. Chris, would you like to say anything from Mayor Alvarez's office? I know he's in full support as well. And just come forward. I don't have to ask. Just anybody that wants to speak, just come and get behind Chris.
Members of the council, members of the Homestead community, Chris Himmel, Officer Mayor Carlos Alvarez, Homestead resident also by the way. I'm willing to, if anyone has comments, concerns, or thoughts that I may relay to the mayor's attentions regarding the Greenway, please bring them to my attention. Obviously, we would like to hear from the folks here in South Dade, in the Homestead community, about this project. And I do thank again the councilwoman for a second time sending me a kind invitation. It was very thoughtful of her, and I'm very happy to be here, and I am very pleased to be a resident of the city of Homestead. Thank you very much.
Chris, thank you so much always for all your support. Thank you. Tom.
Tom Burton with the Everglades Bicycle Club. I'm chairman of the Bicycle Advocacy Committee, and one of the things that came to my attention in the last couple of years is how lacking we are in Miami-Dade County of bicycling facilities. For example, Denver, Colorado, a similar-sized metropolitan area, has 700 miles of paved paths and bike lanes. Here in Miami-Dade County, we have less than 200, and I'd like to see that change. We need more paved paths and lanes here in Miami-Dade County. And the Everglades Bicycle Club endorses a concept of the Biscayne Everglades Greenway, and we've participated in the sessions on it, and we strongly support the construction of the actual path first and the amenities to be added at a later time as funding becomes available.
And that I believe is what we all want. Don't you agree, Fred and Michelle back there? We all want that. I mean, and don't you have a project plan for January?
Yes, I'm
talk a little bit about
planning to help organize a ride on the Greenway, or as close to the Greenway as possible, to generate publicity for the project. And we need volunteers.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Paul, would you
Thank
like
you.
to say a few words? Thank you, Tom.
Well, this idea was born when someone in our tourism committee suggested a national park to national park ride or run to help promote our area, and Councilwoman Waldman heard that and took off, and here we are today. But aside from that, this is very, very important. Eco-agro-tourism is the #1 segment of the industry. This will be millions, possibly billions of dollars of impact to Miami-Dade County. So it is not just fun and recreation, it is also commerce and adding to our economy.
Thank you, Paul. Would anybody else like to make a comment or ask any questions? We have the experts here to ask. Council, any questions, comments? Anyone? I'll turn it over. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a comment. You can come to the podium, sir.
Fred Nickerson. I'm a member of the Key Largo Homeowners Association. It's an association of 23 homeowners representing about 5,000 people, and we're extremely interested in this bike path concept. We'd like to see it terminate in Key West. And
you just added another one. But we believe we can do that.
And we think it looks like this is a going project with a lot of capable people, a lot of motivation. And as a matter of fact, in Key West, we have 20 miles of a bike path already built. And you can imagine what national and international interest that would serve.
It's amazing. I know.
If we could have the bike path all the way to Key West, we add the crocodile preserve, we add the great heron refuge, Pennycamp Park, and all these are cultural amenities that would really attract bikers.
I'm so happy you're here, and thank you so much for coming all the way up the trail, the stretch. I'm already calling it the trail, the stretch, to visit us tonight. And if you'll share your information with Fred, we'll be sure to invite you to the meetings and from now on, so that we can get them on board and
Okay, I've gone down with a bicycle down L111 Canal, and I see a sign there that says it's also an equestrian path, and of course you can walk there, and so we have some parts of it, even in North
That's
Key Largo.
wonderful.
Thank
you so much. Thank you. Mayor Warren?
Thank you, Ms. Wallman, and certainly on behalf of the mayor and council and really the people of Homestead, we are so thrilled that when you see national leaders and state leaders and county leaders and local leaders coming together on this massive project. And I really think it's going to have a tremendous impact on not only South Florida, but the whole state of Florida. You're talking about tourism in Deep South Dade and other economic opportunities. This trailway is going to make that happen. What a beautiful project, and I certainly want to thank all of you for your work, your expertise in different areas to make it happen, and I'm sure it's going to happen. And to Councilwoman Wallman and the work and the vision that you've had for this project, we certainly appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
Just continue the
Just
task.
remember, we believe.
We believe it's going to happen. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you for coming.
And before we move on, let me recognize former mayor of the city of Homestead, Mr. Nick Sincor. I am delighted to have with us this evening voice and the choir director, Mr. Jonathan Norriston from the Haitian Evangelical Baptist Church. Now, this remarkable group was the grand prize winner in the cappella singing contest hosted by the Spirit FM radio station. Listeners throughout Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties called in their votes, and they're here tonight to share their winning song, Imagine Me. Please join me in welcoming them here this evening and to say what a wonderful opportunity and congratulations for the win. And I'm a little disappointed our clerk is not part of the group. I think she this is her church, if I'm not mistaken, is it, Sheila? Would you all come forward? If you need another voice, I'm more than willing.
They're okay, Mayor. They're okay.
Fine. We can give you our mics.
Imagine me.
Let's give them another hand. We are so proud of you, and when I heard about your win, we were very excited that a group of young folks right here in Homestead made it happen. So keep up the good work, and thank you all so very much. Officer of the Month for July 2007, Officer John Monaco. Boy, this name becoming to be consistent. Councilman Porter. Oh, I forgot. I'll do next. Telephone lead.
He's coming. Oh, there he is. He walks a little bit slower. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, Mr. City Manager, City Council. I'm Captain Tom Vogley with the Police Department, of course, Chief Al Roll. You might recognize John Monaco's name. I think we're on number 8 or number 9. I've lost track throughout the years. John is one of our canine officers. His partner is King. Most important partner is over there, Julie. That's his wife, family. Beyond that, John is a recipient of our Office of the Year. He's received Officer of the Quarter from the Kiwanians, Chamber of Commerce. I can go on and on. He's Officer of the Month for June. During that month, he made numerous canine apprehensions, burglary, motor vehicle, breaking into a shed. Most importantly, though, during that month, we had a rash of home invasion robberies. The victims were primarily migrants, and these robberies were very severe in nature. They were at gunpoint. The one night he was working, he responded to the scene of one of the robberies. Earlier that day, there was no exact pattern to these robberies. The victims, there was actually 2 children in the apartment and were held at gunpoint in front of the parents. Unbelievable. Well, that night a pickup truck was stolen from one of the victims. John, doing what he does so well, later on he finds that truck. He sees 3 subjects getting out of the truck and go into an apartment complex. He tracks down with his dog which apartment they went into. He knocks on the door. Female answers. Of course, she didn't know anyone came in the apartment. He got a consent to search, went in the apartment with other officers, and located the 3 subjects, and they were arrested. Detective Division got involved after dealing with fingerprints taken on scenes, and what they did confess to, a total of 13 robbery cases were cleared. All of these were armed. In one case, the victim was shot. You may have seen it on TV. We had to get all the victims together and take them all up to the state attorney's office so they could all give statements on all these cases. So it's one heck of a job, well done as usual. I know the chief's very proud of them. I am. I'm sure the city is. So again, Officer of the Month, John Monaco, June this time.
Well, I think you've already said it. John is a regular. John, you know what you're getting. You want to recite it for everyone? One of the nice things that we get to do as a community is we get to pay back a little bit to these officers that do on a normal basis without any questions asked, step in the line of fire on behalf of us. And our business community does step up, and I'd like to read some of what they give back. Our award plaque is donated by Awards Inc. Our city attorney's office donates $100. First National Bank of South Florida is a $50 savings bond. Community Bank of South Florida is a $50 savings bond. Ferguson's Jewelry, Gary's in the audience, is a $75 gift certificate. Ruby Tuesdays is a $25 gift certificate. Global Technologies Partners is a $50 check. Logos on Old Dixie is a $50 gift certificate. Dale Blake at Blake Chevrolet is a $300 value, tire rotation, detail, get it all fixed up. Captain Car Wash also is a $20 value car wash. Mita Jensen donates 2 memberships to the Homestead Community Concerts, and Homestead Miami Speedway donates a $100 check. And on behalf of the mayor and the council, we'd like to present to you K-9 Officer John Monaco for being selected Officer of the Month for June 2007. John, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief, Captain, Commissioner. I guess first of all the glory and honor belongs to God. I couldn't, I just do what He tells me to do. I'm in the right place at the right time, it seems, all the time. I have a great dog. I have great people that I work with that back me up. I have great supervisors. I'd like to recognize Sheila Johnson if she's still here. There she is. That's my sergeant on midnight shift. She always gives me the backing I need. Always makes sure I do the right thing. And she gives me the ability to do the things that I do. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the people on my shift. A couple of them came out. Jim Cavanaugh. Marty with the police department always gives me what I need for equipment. And all those things all come together. It's not something that you do by yourself. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm greatly honored. I'm honored every time I come up here to get one of these. I just, may all the glory and honor belong to God, and I'm just happy that I'm able to do His work. Thank you. One more thing, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't thank my wife, Julie. Love you, thank you.
Mayor, what I'd like to say before the officers leave is, I know everyone heard where we had one of our detectives, Detective Whipple, lost his 2-year-old son in a tragic accident where he was drowned earlier last week, excuse me. But what I wanted to say while the officers are still here, it's very touching to see how you guys really have wrapped your arms around the detective and his family. And Mayor, you and the council members as well, we've all, as a small community, have taken as best care as we could of in a very, very tragic situation. And Chief, I just wanted to thank you and your officers. Detective Whipple, I saw him today, and he feels so blessed to be in the family of the police department. And I just wanted to say before you guys left that it's impressive. When things are good, but when things are bad, you guys are still there. So thank you very much for taking care of Detective Whipple. And it's a very, very tragic situation. I couldn't believe anything could be any more devastating than lose a 2-year-old son. So our prayers and thoughts go out with him, he and his family, and I hope that everything turns out as best it can. But thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. I have forgotten to provide a token of our appreciation to Voices. Would you all come up and let me present it to you, please? Thank you. And you can get on the camera too, so. This is a certificate of recognition. The certificate is awarded to Voices of Integrity, celebrating Elohim, Haitian Evangelical Baptist Church, for your outstanding lyrical performance during the Spirit FM radio contest and untiring dedication to music, presented this 20th day of August 2007. On behalf of the City of Homestead, Mayor Warren making the presentation. Thank you all so very much, and congratulations again.
I just want to say thanks to God and thanks to the mayor, and thank you so much for Sheila for allowing us to be here today. And we really don't deserve this. Whatever we do, whatever we have right now, the talent that we have right now, it's truly came from God. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Mayor, presentation of Journeyman Lineman Certificate to Jason Wilkerson for completion of the City Homestead Joint Apprenticeship Journey Training Program.
Thank you, Mayor. City of Homestead Utilities Department reinstituted the Joint Apprentice Journeyman Training Program in 1999 to enhance the training and capability level of the journeyman linemen with our Utilities Department. There have only been 9 employees that have graduated from the program since 1999, with the last graduate being in 2003. Tonight we want to recognize Jason Wilkerson as a city employee who has successfully completed that program. He's been with the city since 2003, joined that apprentice training program in 2004, and graduated on August 6, 2007. I want to recognize Jason tonight for his hard work and his wonderful accomplishment. Certificate of Completion of Apprenticeship. This is certified that Jason Wilkerson has satisfactorily completed the apprentice training in accordance with the standards established by the City of Homestead Joint Apprentice Journeyman Training Program, and as of August 6, 2007, he was recognized as being qualified to perform as a journeyman lineman for the City of Homestead. Jason, congratulations.
Just want to thank everybody in the committee at the apprentice program. Billy, my instructor, and Tony, he's not here, and Jose, and Marcy, everybody helping me out on this. Thank you.
I'd just like to congratulate Jason Wilkerson for the extraordinary job he's done. He completed the course in less than 2.5 years. And on behalf of the IBW in the city of Homestead, we put this joint apprentice program together, and we try to keep it going on just for this reason, so we can bring our people up as a city to stay in the city, not to let them go nowhere else. Okay?
I'm one of the instructors. Jason applied himself. He did a great job. I had him on my crew. He came up with various ideas on job sites, hard worker. I'm very proud of him. He did a great job. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Jason, I just want to add that, before the program was reinstituted in 1999, in years past, I've had a lot of friends and neighbors who went to work for the City of Homestead, and it's a big deal. It is a huge one. Don't downplay this or underestimate the significance of this award tonight. It is a big deal in one's career to reach this milestone. It's not just some class that you go to a couple hours at night. It is a major event, comparable to completing one's college education. You've completed that here with us while doing your full-time job with the city. So let's not underestimate that. Again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Next, we have on the agenda item 5E, Safety Award winners. Councilwoman Woolman.
I just wanted to congratulate Jason as well. That was a true accomplishment, and you deserve all the kudos tonight. All right, it's that time of the month again when we do our safety awards. I'd like to ask the August Safety Award winners to come forward, and that would be Sibby Joseph with General Services, ITS, Travis Glassford, Parks and Recs, Johnny Gaither with Parks and Recs, Water Distribution, and for July, Derek Boswick, Building Department. There he is. Larry Riggs, Transmissions and Distribution. Thanks, Jose. Jose is always watching me. Alvin Smith with Parks and Recs. Okay, now, the Safety Award program is not to be taken lightly. It takes a lot of courage to stand here tonight, because that means that these people have been free of accidents and injuries for the preceding 6 consecutive months. They must be full-time employees of the City of Homestead, must have not received workers' comp benefits for the preceding 6 months, and this recognition includes a certificate, a paid day off, that's the good one, paid day off, a safety badge, and your names are going to be posted in City Hall, so everybody that walks in, they're going to see your name, a $25 check from our city attorneys, thank you, and I just want to say congratulations and offer you an opportunity as an employee of the City of Homestead to speak. Come on, I know you got something to say. You always have something to say to me.
I just want to say that, thank you. I've been here for 25 years. It's been a good 25 years. So, and this is my third time for this award, so thank you very much.
He's my buddy. We always run into each other at the convenience store.
I don't really have much to say. I'm just going to say thank you. That's it.
Please say your name when you come forward so everybody will know who you are.
Alvin Smith. I want to say thank you to the mayor, to the vice mayor, to city councilman, and to city manager and staff. Thank you all very much. Good evening, Travis Glasser, Parker Rex. I just want to say thank you, and also thank God for giving me the patience and the compassion to deal with everybody's child. But all jokes aside, you know, at Park and Rec, we want to be able to provide a safe place and a clean environment for the children. Thanks.
School starting today, I think. This guy.
Good evening. Sidney Joseph from ITS. Glad to receive the award. We receive safety training every month, and we see everyone receiving safety awards every month, so obviously safety is a high value with the city, so I'm glad to be a representative this month.
Good evening, Derek Bostick, Development Services. This proves that driving slowly and walking cautiously gives you a pay date off, so thank you very much.
I'm sorry. I'm Johnny Gaither.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, very much. Oh, a picture. Okay, we need to get a picture. Do you want to do it in here or out there? I don't want to hold up the meeting. Okay, just hold it in the middle of the house.
Stand by my name.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'll reach out.
Mayor,
yes,
I want to ask Alvin if he's recovered. Alvin, have you recovered? Over here, Councilwoman Bell. Have you recovered from my grandsons? Got to hear Grandma.
Yes, before I leave, I want to recognize and thank also my director of Park and Recreation, Kurt Herron. I just seen him walk in. Thank you very much, Kurt.
All right, we're now with the consent agenda. Is there a motion for the consent agenda? Moved by Councilwoman Bell. Is there a second? Second by Councilwoman Garner. Any questions on the consent agenda? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Public hearings, ordinances, land use items. Mr. Weiss.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Please be advised that the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment on any of these items, please indicate the item number you'd like to address when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and the staff have made their presentations on each item. Swearing in. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you now wish to either be cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda package on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. In accordance with Code Section 2591, any lobbyist must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose any ex-parte communications concerning any items on the agenda. At this time, the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify on any quasi-judicial item.
Please stand and raise your right hand. I state your name. Hereby swear or affirm that the information I present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Yes. Moving on to item 7A, tab 12. This is the second reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting the request of 505 Northeast 18th Avenue, LLC, for a rezoning from G General Use District to B1 Restricted Retail Commercial District for property located at 505 Northeast 18th Avenue, as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date. This is second reading.
Move approval, Mayor.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell, second by the Vice Mayor. Any question on this item from council? Any initial comments? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Garner? Yes. Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to tab 13, item B. It's the second reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting the request of 945 Northeast 18th Avenue, LLC, for a rezoning from AU Agricultural Use District to B1 Restricted Retail Commercial District for property located at 945 Northeast 18th Avenue, as legally described in Exhibit A, and providing for an effective date. This is second reading.
Move approval.
Moved by Councilwoman Waldman, second by Councilwoman Bell. Any questions and initial comments from council? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, staff would like to request that you take tab 17 out of order after tab 14 because the two are concurrent, should be concurrently looked at. Tab 17 relates to tab 14. It's the resolution approving the proportionate fair share for that site plan approval. Tab 14 is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting site plan approval for a 46,000 square foot commercial retail center on approximately 6.1 acres of land located on the south side of 312th Street, Campbell Drive, and east of Southwest 167th Avenue, as legally described in Exhibit A, and providing for an effective date. The city clerk has handed out a revised resolution for you. With the site plan, there were some modifications between the applicant and staff prior to the council meeting regarding the conditions. Those are noted for you, highlighted in yellow for your review. There is one last-minute change that staff would like to note for you, and that is under item number C, which is highlighted under item C1 and C3, which relates to a minimum 4-foot traffic separator. We would just like the minimum 4-foot stricken, and for that to read that a traffic separator approved by the county shall be constructed for both of those items, C1 and C3.
And this agreed by the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, it was requested by the applicant.
Yes, that is agreed. Thank you very much.
Question, Mayor.
Ms. Bell?
Is the minimum 4-foot traffic separator that is now we've gone ahead to the county, is this less stringent or more stringent or equal to?
That's the minimum standard for a traffic separator, but in case if county wants to waive it for a less or for any reason they want additional, why then be left to traffic, Miami-Dade County traffic to make that decision. That portion of Campbell Drive is a county roadway. From 157 west is a county roadway.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll move it.
Moved by Ms. Bell, second by Ms. Waldman. I'll open up for public discussion. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience?
One more question.
Ms. Bell?
I see...
Let me close the public hearing. I'll come back to you. Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Final comments from council. Councilwoman Bell.
Thank you. Question. I noted that there were comments on the contingency upon the acceptable resolution with city staff on transportation concurrency mitigation, and then I see in the other tab that seems to have taken care of those issues. Have those issues been taken care of to the satisfaction of the city?
Yes, at this time, yes, they have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Any other comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to tab 17. Tab 17 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a transportation proportionate fair share agreement between the City of Homestead and 33030 Realty Partners, LLC, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Bell, second by Councilwoman Woolman. Any initial comments from council? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments? Very quiet audience again this evening. I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council?
May I just ask one thing? Mayor, members of the council, Dick Coker representing the applicant. This proportionate fair share agreement relates to improvements on 162nd Avenue. We understand that 162nd Avenue is an important traffic corridor for the city, and we just urge you to ask your staff to ask the county to put that on their transportation improvement program, the TIP program. That'll free up some funds for you to do these improvements in addition to the funds that we're putting in. So we ask you to ask the staff to work with the county to try and get this designated on the TIP.
We hold Mr. Porter and this committee accountable.
Yes.
Again. We take care of it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving back up to tab 15. Tab 15 is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a special exception to operate a fish market for property located at 227 South Chrome Avenue, as legally described in Exhibit A, and providing for an effective date.
So moved, Mayor. Second.
Moved by Councilwoman Garner, second by Councilwoman Bell. Any initial comments from council? Any initial comments? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is a second reading of an ordinance to the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code by amending Article 5, Payment of Subsistence and Travel Expenses of Chapter 21 Personnel by revising provisions as authorized by Section 166.021.10b. Florida statutes providing for severability inclusion in the code. Effective date is the second reading and public hearing.
Move second reading. Move second reading by Councilman Porter. Is there a second?
Second, Mayor.
Second by Councilwoman Garner. Any comments from council? If not, I'll open the public hearing. Any comments from the audience? Any comments from the audience? If not, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Bell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garner?
Yes.
Councilman Porter?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Losner?
Yes.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next on business from the city manager. Any business, City Clerk? Oh, public comments. Yes. Could you come up, give us your name and address for the record?
Good evening. For the record, my name is Kim Ferguson.
Your address?
My address, 28951 Southwest 175 Avenue, Homestead, Florida.
Thank you.
Mayor Warren, Vice Mayor Losner, and council members. It has become necessary for me to come before council on two issues concerning a commercial shopping center that I am part owner of. If I may at this time, I would like to distribute to each of you some pictures of this property.
This shopping center is located on the corner of Flagler and Chrome Avenue in downtown Homestead. The top pictures that I've distributed to all of you are a reminder of the eyesore this building was for 11 years after Hurricane Andrew. In 2003, we purchased these buildings and completely refurbished them. I've provided pictures of what the buildings look like now. We have worked hard and spent a lot of money to help beautify our town of Homestead with the modern completion of our buildings. We have brought great businesses into this area, which in turn has also provided many jobs. The first issue I respectfully request this council to address is in reference to the new ordinance 2007-0204, removal of foundations of demolitioned or destroyed structures. We received a letter from Code Enforcement, the letter is in your packet, stating we are affected by this ordinance. I went to Mr. Lambert at the building department first with the same pictures that you have, showing him these slabs are being utilized for parking and have been for years. They are not a nuisance as described in your ordinance. They are being used for a necessary function, parking for our tenants and their customers. As all of you are quite aware, parking downtown is slim. Mr. Lambert did not seem to have a problem with the continued use of parking, but stated they would have to have lines and parking curbs added. However, he could not give me permission. He said I must speak to Rick Stotts, which I did. Mr. Stotts informed me that we needed to remove all but one. That is why I have come before council this evening. Even though our building falls under the ordinance waiving parking for our businesses, now that we are full with prosperous businesses, it is nice to be able to provide extra parking for our businesses and their customers. In the pictures I have provided for you, it is quite clear all of these slabs that are being utilized as parking are flat. I do not feel this was the intention of this ordinance. In picture number 3, it's quite clear that it needs to be removed. It is uneven, and I would agree that this appears to be a nuisance according to your ordinance. We have no problem with complying with the removal of this uneven area. We feel we have special circumstances with this property as we are utilizing these flat slabs as parking, which the downtown area needs badly. We have spent a fortune bringing these buildings up to code, making them modern and appealing, and bringing new businesses that are desirable for the city of Homestead. As you can imagine, we are still in the red, and having to pull up slabs unnecessarily would be a financial hardship for us and cause parking problems for our tenants and their customers. I respectfully request that this council vote this evening to waive compliance of this ordinance, at least temporarily, for 3 years and allow us to continue to use these existing flat surfaces as parking. This temporary waiver will at least allow us to catch up financially and figure out an alternative for our tenants. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Garner and then Ms. Bell.
Thank you, Mayor. Kim, I just wanted to let you know this came through the Code Committee, and our intent was not to hurt any businesses. And I've seen your building. I appreciate what you guys have done. It's a dramatic improvement. And I agree with you. When we looked at the code and we thought of slabs, we were picturing more of what's along US 1 where the trailer park is. Now that's an eyesore. Yes. I believe that yours is being used for a proper use, and since you are going to be doing something in the future there, I have no problem waiving the code for you temporarily, and if Mayor, I'll offer the motion.
I'll second it.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. I understand the sentiment behind this, but I really don't think that it's within your purview to do that tonight. My suggestion would be that I asked Kurt whether he was aware of the situation. He said no. We certainly have not looked at this in terms of how it relates to the ordinance. I think the most that we can do tonight is for the council to sort of direct us to look into this carefully and bring it back quickly, so that we can advise them as to what kind of discretion the council has, because again, I'm not familiar with the circumstances, and I don't think the manager is himself with the actual circumstances. So I think that's really all you can do tonight. Although I understand the intent of the motion, I don't really think that's within what it's not a listed agenda item tonight, and we haven't really looked at it.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. I think Ms. Bell wanted, then Mr. Porter.
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Ferguson, when this ordinance came across the dais here, and we were looking at it, and I was looking at home, I brought this very issue up, that I thought this was going to pose a problem for slabs that are being utilized. And this is a real-world example of application where the intent is proper, but the application sometimes as applied, it doesn't exactly work. So this is a good example of why, sometimes we need to be a little bit more creative or go back to the drawing board on this, but the intent was for eyesores, but clearly you have utilized the space very well. And this is, it's funny because this is exactly what I brought up. There's going to be slabs that are going to be utilized that people are going to be asked to rip out that are just, I have a similar slab in my backyard that had a little house on it because it's a 20s home, and it's a very functional slab, and I was assured that that's not the type of thing they're going to look at. And I can see, though, that this one does need to be removed. That's clear.
Yes,
that's clear, especially with the tiles. So I think that, when you visually see that, that's very clear that does need to be taken care of, but you agree with that? Yes. So I think that absolutely we all, I'm sure, are going to be in agreement that we need to take a good look at this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. That's all, Mayor.
Mr. Porter?
Mr. Weiss, obviously, if it's being utilized as parking, it just needs to be striped or whatever to meet that criteria. So that could be a simple, it looks like a slab today, but if it had the appropriate markings for parking, then it's not a slab, it's basically a parking area. So that's really what you got to deal with, and I think you guys had already said you would have no problem doing something like that. So
Absolutely.
I think that's.
I just think that we need to look at it.
No. I agree, but it is being used for parking, and they need to just create the appropriate places, and then it doesn't have to be a slab any longer. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Ms. Wallman, and then the manager.
I just wanted to, whatever you have to do to move this along, just to move it along, because I can understand that you're in limbo. You don't know what the future is going to hold as far as budgeting, and I know this building, and you've done wonders. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We need more people like you in this community to do that, and so I hope we move this along quickly.
Well, let me echo what Ms. Wallman have said. I want to thank you for your investment in the Homestead. It's been remarkable job. Mr. Manager?
I was just going to say, Mayor, pretty much, why don't we let staff work on this and we'll work something out, and then during all this time, then code enforcement can forego any further attention over there on that particular site until we get this squared away.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you so very much.
I have one more issue, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
On the same property. Before we purchased this property, I went to the zoning department and asked for a letter showing the zoning, as there appeared to be controversy regarding whether it was BU2, BU3, or mixed use. The entire property was clearly marked BU3, and I was issued the letter that's before you from the zoning department. After completion of our buildings and starting to interview prospective tenants, I always instruct them to speak to the zoning department and get a verbal approval for licensing before entering into a lease with us. I have, unfortunately, had multiple prospective tenants turned down by a city employee, Kathy Milford, in zoning for business licenses for various reasons. First, she was telling all of my tenants that we were in mixed use and turned down several prospective tenants. Second, she was denying tenants business licenses, stating we did not have adequate parking. I had to go to the zoning department and ask Ms. Milford why she was not familiar with the parking ordinance that had been passed waiving our buildings for parking. Just 2 months ago, a funeral home wanted to go into our empty medical building.
Ms. Milford told the gentleman that it wasn't adequate zoning. The customer called me back and informed me of this. Because I continue to have problems with the city employee, as she seems confused about our zoning and other things, I have lost many viable tenants. Therefore, I need some kind of clarification from this council that will give Ms. Milford hopefully some direction. We have talked to multiple business owners that have had the same complaint as we do. Kathy Milford is not consistent with her decisions related to zoning and licensing. I get quite upset when I hear what a difficult time people are given when they want to open a business in the city of Homestead. I respectfully suggest that our city needs a liaison that welcomes new businesses to Homestead. I respectfully request that this council render a definitive decision that our property is in fact Zone BU3, and any business that falls into the BU3 category should receive a license, and our property in fact falls under the ordinance of waived parking. Thank you.
Mayor.
Let me ask you, when you were having these issues, did you ever talk to the manager or one of the assistant city managers about the problem?
I have just recently, Mr. Mayor. I'm finding out later on of the prospective tenants that I've lost. I have gone to Sally on a couple of issues that she has helped straighten out. So I have tried. But we're going on 3 years now of problems, and I don't know where else to turn.
Mayor.
Mr. Manager?
If I may. Yeah, those are 2004. I think if we get with Sherry, I think we can get this squared away and get some definitive answers for you with Sherry Kamali, the department head there. She can get you some definitive answers on your zoning.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think the basic override here, and I'm going to give you a perfect example, is the
Microphone.
fish market that you guys passed earlier this evening, a couple of ordinances ago. They took 4 months to get in. Now, I understand why things are in place. Now, these people had a business in this town for 35 years, A-OK bait and tackle. And they moved from there 100 yards up the street, and I've been trying to help them get in. And we're going on our 5th month now. Okay? Now, I understand there are certain things in place, but when you have an existing business in this town that wants to move up the street a couple of stone throws, and you hit 5 months worth of quagmire, something's wrong. Okay? And I don't know exactly what that is, but I mean, I just, as a business person in this town for 50 years, including my father, which we opened here in 57, I just hear too many people that we have an unfriendly business environment to try and get a business open. And I see this repeatedly. And I just think, I love the city. I live here. Who knows, I'm probably going to die here. But I think we need to do something to help our persona to business people, because we don't have a really, really good one for at least small businesses. And I'm telling you that from the business community. That somebody needs to say, thank you for applying to the City Homestead, and we'll get back to you. Instead of, you got to do this or you can't do that right off the bat. You know? And I know I helped do the Southwest Master Plan. I helped finance that. And there seems to be confusion there because of the mixed use, which is in the southwest section, confused with the buildings that border the northwest and the northeast section. And these aren't the same zoning. So, I mean, you know, and I helped make this plan, and I'm still confused with it. So I understand the confusion, but we do need to work on this to try and make this city a little bit more business friendly. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Gary. I think the manager hear you very loudly, and we hear you, and we'll correct the problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all very much.
Do you mind if I respond to, according to the date of the application, it was submitted to our office on June 14th. Today is August 20th. For your record, my understanding is the code insists that any kind of fish market has to go to a special exception. So we needed to take it to P&Z and the council. That is the reason, and we do have P&Z meeting, and we have to go. There is a, in our code says there has to be 30 days between the P&Z day and the council day. So between June 14th to August 20th, we followed everything as fast as we could, and we met all the code requirements.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Any other public comments? If not, we go on to the manager's business. Mr. Manager?
I have a couple things, Mayor. This afternoon, after the agenda was put together, I have something under my business. We have Lowe's construction going on out east, and I spoke to a representative from Lowe's, the contractor, and they will be pouring concrete for their new facility at Campbell Drive and Farm Life, and it's quite a big job. And they have requested, and what we have in the ordinances for a temporary permit, because they need to work outside the normal hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're requesting to begin 2 a.m. on Tuesday, August 28th, and work will run through Friday, August 31st. And they'll be working all day, but the main issue is from 2 a.m. to about 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. And there'll be a large number of concrete trucks coming in. And with school starting and the traffic on Campbell, this was going to impact it quite negatively. And the ordinance requires we can approve staff a 3-day permit. However, to go, it's 4 days, so to go above that, you need council approval. Now, it's on this date, 28 August and August 31st. There'll be a second date in October, which we don't have the exact days yet, where they'll have to do a second pouring. And again, it's a trade-off. They're going to put flyers in the community advising them of this, because there will be some noise associated with it, and that's why we're dealing with this. So there will be some flyers. We're going to put up the roadway signs, the electric signs, the boards advising the close neighborhoods to this as well, and put out a press release to notify people that this is happening. But feel it's probably a better scenario than trying to bring in these numbers of trucks in the morning during the school and through traffic on Campbell Drive. I have Robert here representing
Elkins Constructors. We have a general contractor. Nice meeting you again, Mr. Mayor. Met you at the groundbreaking ceremonies. We will be running probably anywhere between 40 and 70 trucks a night in a sequence of a turnaround anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. The last thing I want to do, and this morning I had driven in from Cape Coral, and I got off that turnpike, and it literally took me 15 minutes to get from that turnpike to that job site, which you know is what, maybe a quarter mile, 3/10 of a mile, but your school opening this morning. If I load you up with 50 to 70 trucks, I'm going to bombard you. Your kids are going to be late for school. That's not what we're here for. We're here to go ahead and build a building, supply you guys with some jobs, and just go ahead and go get it over with. I mean, with the mercy of you guys. It's the best way. We've built 30 or 40 of these. This is the best way of us doing it. There's no traffic. We have a time limit. We have codes and specs we have to go by also. Specs, if the concrete's older than 90 minutes, we cannot pour it. We have to get rid of it. And this is the only time it works, because we pull out the back of the truck and boom, boom, boom. That's why we have such a quick turnaround. But if to tie up your streets, especially with the construction, we also are expanding 162nd and we're expanding Campbell. So we're limiting down, that's down to 1 lane. Putting trucks in, I'll quadruple your traffic with no problem. And that's not what we want to do.
Mr. Mayor, if the council is interested in doing this, they can authorize the council, the manager, to issue a 4-day permit by motion.
I just want to ask.
Ms. Morgan have a question.
I agree with you completely, but I do know that there are some houses that back right onto the structure in Granada Estates right there. So I'm going to ask the manager to not just pass out flyers, but to make sure that especially those houses that back right up to that job site, that they're notified so that they'll know
We'll put the message
Some of them
board
back
there
right up
as
to
well.
it, you know.
I'm agree with you, and like I said, I've run into this situation before. I just recently built one in Cape Coral. I had the same situation. I'm always going to get one or two, and I'm not here to offend anybody, but I'm going to get one or two, but 98% of them are going to say, let the store open, we want it there.
I do think it's better to communicate beforehand so that they are aware of it if they want to spend the night somewhere else for those 4 nights or whatever, just so that they know what's going on. So I agree with you. I mean, we don't need that on 8th Street.
We carry a generic form that we use for notice of homeowners, if you like, whichever way you want to do it.
Work with the manager on it, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to move it, but I want to, I appreciate that very much. I know that I was just talking to some friends yesterday and said everybody that doesn't have to be out right now between 7:30 and 9 should stay home at least for the first month because it's really going to be crowded, and I know we appreciate it. So I appreciate that, and I think that that's a small concession for the big scheme, and that's keeping the traffic off of the road. So I greatly appreciate that, and I move it.
Second, Mayor. Moved by Ms. Bell, second by Mr. Porter. Ms. Vice Mayor? Moved by Ms. Bell, second by Mr. Porter. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
You're done.
Okay.
Granted.
It's approved.
It's approved.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. Also want to mention, since this will be the council meeting before the holiday, some of the services, City Hall and customer service will be closed Monday, September 3rd, in observance of Labor Day. Also that customer service will be also closed on Saturday, September 1st for that Labor Day holiday. We usually have that window open on Saturday, so it will be closed. And they will post a sign advising people that they'll be closed at the window. Garbage and trash will be collected as scheduled. Last is effective September 8th, 2007, customer service drive-through hours of operation will change from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturdays. It was open till 3 o'clock, and we're changing it to 12. Statistics show we don't get much traffic from 12 to 3, so we're cutting it back to 12 in the afternoon. Customers can make payments 24 hours a day by phone at 305-224-4444 and online at cityofhomestead.com/customerservices. So that's the announcement. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilwoman Bell?
Thank you, Mayor. Last week I attended the deployment welcome home ceremony at the Air Force Base and got to see many families welcoming home their fathers and their daughters and their sons from Iraq. It was very, very touching, but I was very pleased to be there on behalf of the City of Homestead. Also, I attended the Chamber Spotlight on Fuchs Orchids, and Robert Fuchs gave us a great tour of Fuchs, and it was just beautiful, and it was a nice spotlight on Fuchs, and it was, I don't know if a lot of people know about Fuchs orchids, but Bob Fuchs is world famous all over the world for his orchids, and if you ever watch Discover Channel or any type of PBS or anything, very often you'll see a show that highlights Fuchs orchids. So we have its treasure also right in our backyard. I returned from the Florida League of Cities conference. The conference was absolutely excellent, and I really thought the workshops were particularly good. And then I was sharing that with a friend how good I thought the workshops were, and a gentleman came up behind me and heard me, and he said that he's been coming to these conferences since the 1980s, and this has been the best one in at least 10 years. There was workshops on excellence, leadership, followership, dealt with ethics and going, not just following the law, but going above the law as far as ethics, and I thought that was very, very good. Also a workshop on leadership in troubled times, that was very, very good. And then they had a panel on what was the Florida tax reform going to do to the cities, and they had a panel basically with pros and cons, and some that were in favor and some that were opposed. Representative of Marco Rubio from the legislature, as well as representatives from the insurance industry, representatives from the opposition. So it was very, very interesting to sit here and see both sides of the debate. It was a bit hostile of an environment, I must say, to those that were supporting the tax increase, because you had a bunch of representatives from the cities. But it was very, very interesting nonetheless, and I really appreciated going. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Councilwoman Garner.
Thank you, Mayor. I was very excited today. I got a call from Joel Fernari at Southgate High School, and he asked me if I would be principal for a day over there in a few weeks, so I'll be glad to go visit my alma mater and be the principal. Never had that role over there. I was never in the principal's office. This will be my first time. A quick update on the Mayor's Youth Council. We have a lot of seniors this year that will be graduating, so we'll be introducing some new members at upcoming council meetings. They'll be holding their elections, so you'll see their new mayor and council next month. And they're also doing some fundraising for their trip. They're going to go to D.C. again next year, and they're going to be holding car washes here at City Hall on the third Saturday of every month, starting next month in September, and it'll be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you want a cheap car wash, I'll keep reminding you when those are going to happen. And once again, my condolences to the Whipple family. My heart and my prayers are with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garner. Mr. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Just for those here who may not have heard and those watching, I hope all of us know that this Friday morning at 8:30 at the site of our new City Hall, we will have a very significant event, and that on a very significant day in the history of this community, we will make it significant again and commemorate the achievements and the progress of this community on August 24th, 2007, having a groundbreaking for our new City Hall. I hope that anyone and everyone who is available can attend. I believe it's going to be a very noteworthy building and a very noteworthy event. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. And let me encourage the community to come out on Friday morning at 8:30. Councilman Porter.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one question on the heels of the conversation with Lowe's. Has there been any update, so to speak, on the DDR project, and when I know that DDR is anticipated to do the 6 laning in front of the portion of their responsibility, which does overlap the school zone? Have they updated us on time frame when that may be taking place?
My understanding is that the construction has to be completed before September of next year, but I will verify it and get back with you.
Maybe just in the future. I know it had to be completed. If we can have an idea when it's going to start, maybe we wouldn't have so many projects. I mean, or at least because it's being run by the developer, obviously there'll be county oversight, but it'd be nice to know that we don't overlay something on top of that as well.
I'll make sure I have a report for you for next meeting.
And again, I just wanted to, my condolences to Detective Whipple. It's a tragedy, but he seemed to be doing well today. So, but thank you, Mayor. That's all I had.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Ms. Wallman.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. Saturday, August 25th, 9 a.m., Dick Connolly football program begins. It's an opening day event at Harrisville. I encourage everyone to come out that's involved in that. Also, Friday, September 7th, at 7:30 p.m. is the opening day for AYSO soccer, and that's at the Homestead Sports Complex. So those are 2 big events. Very excited about that starting. That means, always when I see this, I always know that they start telling me this in June and July. I always know school day is almost here. My little grandson, he asked me, he lives in Palm Beach, and he says, Mimi, how many more days before I get to go to school? And I said, this was yesterday, I said, 3 more sleeps and you'll be able to go to school, because he starts school on Wednesday. But I know his mom is very happy. But anyway, Mayor, I forgot to mention at the last meeting that we did receive another $500,000 for the Seminole Theater. So it's very positive. That was a grant, and we're very excited about that. We're waiting to hear about some others that we have in the works. And I as well would like to send my condolences to the Whipple family. On behalf of the Little Angels, we are going to make sure that the children get grief counseling, the siblings of the family, that they have grief counseling. And we're going to take care of some other things as well. So my heart and prayers are with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bowman. And as we're talking about helping and expressing condolences, I would encourage the community to consider sending donations to the people of the Caribbean and Jamaica and Haiti and other places that have, and probably Cancun is coming up, that would be devastated from this hurricane. And just always remember, as the Vice Mayor talked about the significance of August 24th, that we got significant help all over the world from Hurricane Andrew. So as you hear about locations for contributions and the organizations involved, please do what you can to help the ones in need in those countries. We appreciate it. Under my business, there's the reappointment of Susie Peterson Randolph and Dennis Ross for the Historic Preservation Board. Your motion for approval? Move approval. Moved by the Vice Mayor, second by Councilman Bell. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that's all I had this evening. Mr. Porter?
I forgot one thing. I know we all got the letter where the county is going to, in October, introduce the resolution that gives us a seat on the MPO board. And just for the community's, information, that is a significant position for us as a community to be able to have a seat at the table and help to guide the projects that the MPO approves. Currently, we don't have anything unless we get a county commissioner to champion, and we haven't necessarily been that successful in some of those endeavors, but this gives the city of Homestead an opportunity to be at the table, introduce, and help manipulate where those county resources go, like Mr. Coker was talking about. And that's a significant achievement for this community. I know we all got that.
We got that. Well, thank you all so very much for coming out this evening. Meeting is adjourned.